as far as improvising the actual direct pressure and elevation for a low volume kind of capillary bleed or low volume to medium volume venous bleed, if you don't have dressings, you know, first off, why don't you? Second off, you can improvise with cotton material. And again, if I'm trying to get bleeding under control for the first time, what I'm not going to do is take the time while this is bleeding actively to sterilize or disinfect these bandages. I'm going to use whatever I have to place directly on the wound. In this case, it's just a ripped up piece of cotton. It could be a bandana or shamag. Place that directly over the wound with direct pressure, and I'm going to elevate that. All right. And after about 10 minutes, I'm going to reassess and see whether or not this is working. If it is working, I'm going to go ahead and place a bandage over that to hold it in place and kind of keep it clean. Then I can worry about the next time I change those dressings out and get this bleeding under control. I can worry about irrigating this wound, cleaning up, soap and water or just water, and then changing it out with some bandaging and dressing material that's as clean as possible. But for your initial intervention, when you're trying to stop the bleed, there's no reason to worry about a tertiary problem of infection. If you have clean material, then use it, of course. But if you don't worry about it. Stop the bleed. That's the most important thing. Now, if after that 10 minutes is up, if this didn't work, then I'm going to think about moving up and upgrading to a pressure dressing and wound packing, which we'll talk about later. But if it is effective, again, I'm just placing this material in here to absorb the blood, and that blood absorption is going to help and assist with the clotting. And a lot of times this is all you need for those low volume bleeds. And then I'm going to take another piece of cotton and I'm going to use that as my bandage material. All right, so covering up all the dressing to kind of keep the junk out of there as best I can. Just going to wrap that up. And for this, I've just split the ends right here because I need to be able to tie it off. I'll take one end around this way, and then I'll tie it off using this. And I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on it. There's no need to. I just want to tie it off so that it doesn't come loose. And it doesn't have to be a fancy knot. You can tie it just like you tie your shoes. But that'll hold that in place. Now I can worry about the tertiary problem of infection. So I'll disinfect some bandaging material, and I'll irrigate and clean the wound after the bleeding's under control, and then I'll change this bandage at least once every 24 hours. So that's kind of an improvisation. And again, we don't improvise on purpose. We improvise when we run out of other material or for some reason we find ourselves unprepared.